Hello Sunday School. I hope you're well. Today we're going to be thinking about Jesus' ascension back to heaven. But first, I've got a few riddles for you. What has a soul but no body? What has a tongue but no mouth? What needs healing but isn't wounded? What can be any length but is always afoot? And what must always accept defeat? What do you think? Well, actually, the answer to all these is the same. It's a shoe, or a pair of shoes. When you think about it, there must be millions of shoes in the world. There are millions of people. They go from baby booties to great steel toe-capped boots, ballet shoes, walking shoes, Wellington boots, high-heeled shoes, trainers, all sorts of shoes. But despite, or perhaps because of all the variety, it can still be difficult to get the ones you want. As I said, we're thinking about Jesus' ascension back to heaven today. I don't know whether when Jesus went back to heaven, he left a pair of empty shoes behind, but he certainly left an empty space in the disciples' lives. They'd been together with him for 3 years, and then he was crucified, and they thought they'd lost him. But within 3 days, he rose again. And then he spent 40 days appearing to different ones of them at different places, different times. And after 40 days, he ascended to the Father in heaven, back to God, and promised that he would send them the Holy Spirit to be with them. You might have thought that disciples would be sad now that they've finally lost Jesus again. But Luke tells us at the end of his Gospel that actually they were full of joy, worshipping and praying as they waited for the Holy Spirit. Now for us, the empty cross and the empty tomb are reminders that Jesus died and has risen again, because he's no longer on the cross and no longer in the tomb. I'm going to use 3 empty pairs of shoes to help us understand Jesus' ascension. First pair. Pair of football boots. See the studs on the bottom? They're pretty well used, being in several football games, I would have think. I don't know whether they've ever been used to score a winning goal. I can tell you though, they definitely were not used in this year's cup final. I don't know whether you've seen a cup final, but at the end, the winning team all go up to collect the cup, and usually cup winners' medals. And their fans shout and cheer, "We won! We won!" In fact, the fans haven't touched the ball, but it's their team, so they feel, "We won!" At the Ascension, Jesus is going up to collect the cup his prize for victory, the victory he won when he was crucified and was resurrected at Easter. If we're in his team, we can say, we've won. We can share in the excitement that Jesus has defeated death. And so, a pair of empty football boots can remind us that Jesus is the King who reigns. Next box, next pair of shoes. These haven't been used yet. In fact, they're quite new. They're slippers. Where do you think you would wear slippers? I would say at home, when you're relaxing. So, these remind me that Jesus has gone home to his Father in heaven. When Jesus died on the cross, he paid the price for us to go there too. And when he ascended, he had the marks of the nails that had pinned him to the cross still visible as a reminder that he has paid this price. So these slippers remind me that Jesus is the rescuer who pays. Right. Another shoebox. In this one, pair of sandals. They remind me of summer and warm weather. When Jesus was on earth, he probably wore sandals, but I don't suppose they look much like this. When he was on earth, he walked and talked and met with people, met joy and sadness and temptation, just like we do. The Ascension tells me that Jesus took that experience as a human being up into heaven. He's up there now, and he remembers what it's like to be a human being, and he prays for us. He's praying now for us in heaven. So, a pair of sandals remind me that Jesus is the friend who prays. So, strange though it might seem, these pairs of shoes may help you to remember why Jesus' ascension is important for us today. Jesus is in the place of victory and he shares it with us. He played for us and won. He's at home now in heaven, preparing a place for us and has paid for us to go in. And he prays for us. He prays for us to win over all the difficulties of life that we find on earth. And there's another thing. He has been in our shoes on earth so that one day we can be in his shoes in heaven. But in the meantime, he is with us by the Holy Spirit. He can use us to help him transform the world, to live according to the ways of his kingdom. So Jesus reigns. Jesus paid the price for us to enter into heaven. And Jesus prays for us. He'll be praying this week and always. So, Jesus is now seated high over everything, which coincidentally spells the word shoe, S-H-O-E. So for our craft, to remind us of this, we're going to draw around our feet or round one of our shoes. I suggest one of your slippers because it will probably be clean and dry. And if you're doing some craft, the last thing you want is a dirty, muddy, wet footprint all over it. I drew around my slipper and I got a shape like this. I've cut it out and I've written on there, Jesus is seated high over everything, so that I can remember. And then I decided to decorate my foot. On this one, I've put a lace. All that is I put a bit of sticky glue on, stuck down the lace, and then put some more dabs of glue, arranged it as though it was the lace was being tied, and put some more dabs of glue to hold it down. But you don't have to do that. I did another one too. Whoops. See? Another shoe. Jesus seated high over everything. This one I've started colouring in. I'm just using mixed colours. But you could colour it in using whatever colours you like. It's your shoe. It's your reminder. Have fun. Bye for now.